So, welcome back. In this second video I'm going to look at the room setups, and because getting the space right will make the rest of your setup so much easier. So first thing to say though is that you don't actually need a lot of space. My garden office here is only it's under 3 meters by under 3 meters, so it's actually quite small. But layout is important, even more so if, like me, you've got limited space, and if, like me, you're actually looking to do multiple things with it. So let me show you. So this is my space. Think about how you will use it. Will you be standing like me, or will you be sitting at a desk like that? Will it be at a desk here? Will it be over there? What kind of shots do I actually want? And the thing to remember about the shots is that the higher the quality, the more that you can kind of notice things. So if you zoom in, you'll probably be able to read the writing on there. So also, think about the windows. So if I look over here, I've got the windows behind me, which generally puts you into silhouette. But you can sort that out by, I'm using blinds, mixture of blinds, so mesh blinds, I've got blackout blinds, etc. So I can control that lighting. And the lighting is really important. So basically for the lighting, huge subject in itself, but actually just some very simple thing to remember, the 3-point lighting technique. So what you do there is you've got one light which shines on top of you, and that's your key light, and that gives you, that basically lights you up. Then you've got a side light which comes in. Now I'm actually using over there the daylight coming in acts as a side light, and what that does is it allows me to be use that light without actually having a separate light over there, and that gives a bit of definition. And then the other thing you need is a bit of fill light, and that just sort of lights the surrounding areas. So again, I'm using the windows over there, but I've also got a couple of little fills up there as well. And the thing with the lighting is they can actually be used in multiple ways. So that might be a key light if I'm facing that way, but it might be the fill light if I'm facing that way. So a range of things that you can actually do. And I say with the blinds, because these are blackout blinds, it allows me to actually totally block out the lighting, so I've got the full control. The other thing with the lights when you're choosing them is think about white balance. Now you may have heard of white balance, you may not. Basically white balance, it tells the camera what actually is white, because believe it or not, cameras don't know what white is, so you've got to tell them. And by setting the white balance, it tells them what what colour white actually is. And you think, yeah, that's okay, but the problem is that different lights have got different what they call colour temperatures. And so what I've done, and they're relatively inexpensive, these are daylight temperature lighting, so it means that it matches up with the outside lighting, so you don't get that kind of yellow cast you can with, say, tungsten type lighting or other type lighting. So it's important to get that balance right. So that's basically like the room, the lighting, what have you. The other key thing obviously is the acoustics. So if you get the acoustics right, it sounds really good. If you get it wrong, it's rubbish. So a few things with acoustics, and by acoustics I mean not your microphone as such, but actually how the room sounds. So when you're setting up the room, I think about different things. So let me go back to this camera here. So if you think, if you go into, say, a church or a big thing like that, it's a very live sound. So if you clap, it reverberates all the way around. And that's a real problem for microphones, because they hear all those echoes and just repeat it. They don't know that it's an echo. So you can end up with really bad sound. TV studios tend to get as dead as possible. So if you go into a TV studio and clap, you can hardly hear it. So what you need is, it errs towards the dead sound, but actually it doesn't have to be totally. And you can do things, simple things like this screen behind me. This actually absorbs some of the sound. The blinds absorb some of the sound. I don't think you can quite see it, but I've got a couple of bits of carpet down. They absorb sound. And it's all about getting it so when you actually clap, it doesn't sound too bright and you're not getting those echoes. So that's pretty much it, really. So think again, just to recap. So the room itself, the layout, what you want in shot, what you don't want in shot. The lighting, as much control as you possibly can over that lighting. And then the acoustics, so it sounds as good as possible. So if I come back onto this camera, just to finish off, and so you've seen around behind the scenes, and because I've done all that, what we end up with is a very nice background, which it could be any size, you don't know. I mean, you have seen it. And it's all nicely lit. You can see me, you can see the definition, and hopefully you can hear me okay. So that's those things about getting the room and the layout right. In the next video, I'll be talking about the actual equipment, and I'll be showing you exactly what equipment I'm using. So I hope this has been useful, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. And I'll say cheerio now.